Down in 1 minute.
1 minute.
"30 seconds from picking up the count. Picking up the count in 10 seconds.
The countdown clock will resume on my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark.
T-minus 9 minutes and counting.
GLS auto sequence has been initiated.
Ground launch sequencer now controlling. Over 1,000 different parameters will be monitored and verified in the next 9 minutes. The handoff to Endeavour's onboard computers will occur at T-minus 31 seconds, and at that point that handoff will not occur if there is anything that is not go for launch.
PLT OTC, connect essential buses to your fuel cells per your checklist. PLT, that's in work.
The orbiter access arm will be retracted in about 20 seconds.
GLS's go for orbiter access arm rechecked.
Endeavour OTC, it's your final voyage. This is both a sad and proud moment for your launch team and for America, but your legacy will live on. Mission success with AMS, a truly international effort. Godspeed, and see you back in a couple of weeks. Endeavour copies. Thanks for the words. Appreciate it.
It's orbiter test conductor Mark Taffet from United Space Alliance. Wishing the crew well.
And JRPS OTC, start your display recorders, please.
T-minus 6 minutes, 28 seconds.
Recorders are running. PLT OTC, perform APU pre-start. PLT, that's in work.
T-minus 6 minutes and counting.
OTC, PLT, APU pre-start is complete with 3 great talkbacks. Copy all.
In about 30 seconds, we'll be terminating the liquid oxygen replenishment. T-minus 5 minutes, 5 seconds.
is go for orbiter APU start.
PLT OTC perform APU start.
PLT, that's in work.
EDR OTC reconfigure heaters.
Heater reconfigure work. OTC PLT APU start is complete.
Copy that.
OTC CDR heater reconfig complete.
Copy also.
We'll be starting the orbiter aerosurface profile test in just a moment.
GLS is go for purge sequence 4.
T-minus 3 minutes 30 seconds, checking main engine steering. Verifying that the main engines now are in the start position. Pressurizing the liquid oxygen tank.
GLS is go for ET LO2 pressurization.
I'll now be retracting the gaseous oxygen vent arm.
PLT OTC clear caution and warning memory. Verify no unexpected errors.
PLT, that's in work. OTC PLT caution and warning memory is clear. No unexpected errors.
Copy that. Endeavour OTC close and lock your visors. Initiate O2 flow.
Endeavour in work.
T-minus 2 minutes and counting.
GLS is go for ET LH2 pressurization.
One minute, 30 seconds.
Now arming the sound suppression water system.
One minute.
Closing the liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen fill and drain valves. Standing by for the handoff to Endeavour's onboard computers. T-minus 31 seconds and the handoff has occurred.
25. 20.
Firing chain is armed. Hot suppression water system is armed. Go for main engine start. 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 0. 0 and liftoff for the final launch of Endeavour, expanding our knowledge while expanding our lives in space.
Houston, Endeavour, roll program.
Roger, roll, Endeavour.
Houston is now controlling. Endeavour beginning to pull over onto its back. The roll program underway as Endeavour begins the heads down position on course for a 51.6 degree, 136 by 36 statute mile orbit. Three engines now throttling down as Endeavour passes through the area of maximum dynamic pressure on the vehicle in the lower atmosphere. Approaching 1 minute into the flight.
Endeavour, go at throttle up.
Roger, go at throttle up.
Endeavour's three main engines now back at full throttle, all three engines in good shape. Endeavour's already traveling 1,300 miles per hour at an altitude of 11 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center, now 12 miles. At liftoff, Endeavour fully fueled, weighed 4.5 million pounds. It's already lost half that weight in propellant now, burned that weight. Next event is burnout and separation of the twin solid rocket boosters. That upcoming here shortly at the 2 minute 3 second point. Those boosters are burning 11,000 pounds of fuel per second. And standing by for separation of the solid rocket boosters. The onboard guidance system has done its job of settling out any dispersions introduced at booster separation. The orbiter is now traveling 3,200 miles per hour, downrange 50 miles, altitude 37 miles. All systems in good shape. Three good hydraulic systems, auxiliary power units, and fuel cells. The fuel cells providing electrical power to all of the systems.
Roger, 2 engine tow.
Endeavour can reach a TAL site in the event of a single engine failure. However, all three are in good shape. Space Shuttle Endeavour sailing into fair winds on its final historic voyage. This view looking down the external fuel tank, the orbiter there on the top, as Endeavour continues to power its way into orbit, traveling 4,000 miles per hour, downrange 90 miles, altitude 50 miles. 3 minutes, 15 seconds into the flight. All three main engines still looking in good shape. Hydraulic systems and electrical systems on board the orbiter.
Endeavour, negative return.
Roger, negative return.
Endeavour can no longer return to the Kennedy Space Center in the event of an engine failure now, but all three are still in good shape, as are all of the other systems aboard the orbiter. Quiet here in Mission Control as a team of flight controllers watches over all of the systems. 4 minutes, 20 seconds into the flight, Endeavour's traveling 5,500 miles per hour. Altitude now 63 miles, traveling downrange 186 miles, or about 335,000 feet in altitude. Environmental and Control Systems Officer here reporting a good flash evaporator system providing cooling to all of the avionics equipment aboard the vehicle. Traveling into space on the forward flight deck is Commander Mark Kelly and pilot Greg Johnson. Between and behind them is flight engineer Roberto Vittori. And rounding out the flight deck crew is Mike Fink.
Endeavour, press to ATO.
Roger. Press the ATO.
Endeavour can reach orbit on 2 engines should one fail at this point. However, all 3 are still performing as planned. Down on the middeck of Endeavour, Drew Feustel and Greg Chamitoff. Feustel headed to the International Space Station for the first time. Vittoria and Fink making their first voyage on the Space Shuttle after flying to the International Space Station aboard Soyuz spacecraft previously.
Endeavour, single engine, Ops 3.
Roger. Single engine Ops 3.
That call indicates that Endeavour could reach a transatlantic abort site on 1 engine if it lost 2 of the 3, although all 3 are still in good shape. 5 minutes, 50 seconds into the flight.
Endeavour, press to MECO and single engine Zaragoza, 104.
Roger. Press the MECO. Single engine Zaragoza 104.
Several calls there. Endeavour can reach a safe orbit on 2 engines now. The guidance system is controlling the engines to roll Endeavour to a heads-up position to optimize the air-to-ground communications through the satellite network. Flight controllers reporting to Flight Director Richard Jones they're in good shape.
Your shutdown plan is nominal.
Copy. Shutdown plan is nominal.
For Mark, your go the plus X, go the pitch.
Roger. Go for the plus X. Go for the pitch.
Endeavour, single engine press, 104.
Roger. Single engine press 104.
Endeavour can reach orbit on 1 engine should 2 fail. However, all 3 are still in good shape. The 3 main engines are flowing fuel through their power systems at a rate equivalent to draining an average backyard swimming pool in 25 seconds. 7 minutes, 20 seconds into the flight. Altitude 64 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center, 630 miles. Endeavour is traveling 13,500 miles per hour. We're now seeing throttling on the 3 main engines to maintain the 3G or 3 times gravity load on the vehicle and the crew. Engines at 82% of rated thrust, 8 minutes into the flight. The next activity is main engine cutoff. That's expected to be commanded at 21 seconds. And main engine cutoff has been confirmed. Flight Dynamics reporting a nominal main engine cutoff. And separation from the external tank. Endeavour's Commander Mark Kelly now firing the thruster jets to position the orbiter for photography of the external tank.
We did see a nominal MECO. OMS 1 is not.
PLT OTC, connect essential buses to your fuel cells per your checklist.
PLT, that's in work.
Picking up the count in 10 seconds.
The countdown clock will resume on my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark.
T-minus 9 minutes and counting.
GLS auto sequence has been initiated.
Ground launch sequencer now controlling. Over 1,000 different parameters will be monitored and verified in the next 9 minutes. The handoff to Endeavour's onboard computers will occur at T-minus 31 seconds, and at that point that handoff will not occur if there is anything that is not go for launch. Down in 1 minute.
1 minute.
.30 seconds from picking up the count.